when you're looking at the cone, remember it has the circle base, and then I told you it kind of looks like a big orange slice or something sitting on top of it, the circle base. And I especially said orange slice because this one happens to be orange, but that kind of helps you remember what it looks like. You have the curved wedge shape, and then you've got the circle, but when you fold them up, it makes the three-dimensional cone. And so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about our nets, what they look like if you fold them out flat. Okay, so question 2 on your test gives a couple of nets, and it asks what shape they are. What shape would they make? Would they make a cone? Would they make a cylinder? Would they make a pyramid? So it's just knowing when you fold it out flat what shape it's going to make. So what shape is this one going to be?
A cube.
A cube, because all of the squares are the exact same size. So if they're all the exact same size, it's a rectangular prism, but it also is a cube because they're all the exact same size. Each side's a square. Okay, so that's what you're doing for question number 2. Pretty easy, you think? It gives you a net, you look at it, and you tell what shape it would be. Okay? What's this one going to be? One that looks like a big division sign. What is it actually going to make?
Cylinder.
A cylinder. Okay, because you got your 2 bases, which are the circle bases, and then the part that curves around and connects the 2 circles together, it looks like a rectangle. Now, remember, when we're talking about what goes around it, that gets us into what we're talking about in section 9.2. It gets us into our lateral area, okay? Our lateral area is just the distance around the sides of the figure, not including the bases. So our lateral area on the cylinder is this rectangle. And then when we want the total surface area, that adds that rectangle with the 2 circles. And that's something that we worked on in section 9.2. Okay, and that's what we're starting to talk about a little bit more now. But everybody good with the net part?
Yes.
So the first 2 questions you have on the test. Question number 1 is about Euler's formula. So you identify the number of vertices, the number of edges, and the number of faces, and then you plug them into the formula to show that yes, it does equal 2. Question number 2 has 2 different nets, and they're included in the examples I just showed you. So if you're paying attention to the examples I just showed you, you've got the answers for number 2. Okay? You just identify what shape that net would make when you folded it up. Okay? Now, section 9.2 starts talking about our lateral area and our surface area. So on our notes, it says, the surface area of a solid is the total number of square units needed to completely cover the figure and is found by adding the lateral surface area with the area of the bases. And then to find the lateral surface area, it's the product of its height and the perimeter of the base. So whether the base is a rectangle, whether the base is a triangle, whatever shape the base is, you find the perimeter of the base and you multiply it times the height. That's your lateral area, okay? Perimeter of the base times the height. Now you'll notice for the lateral surface area of a circular cylinder is the product of its circumference and its height. Circumference is just the word for perimeter for a circle. So you're still taking the perimeter distance around the base and multiplying it by the height. So when we are doing lateral area, okay, lateral area is always equal to perimeter of base times the height. Now, your height is always the length of segment, distance between the 2 bases. Your height is the distance between the bases. And the reason that I say it like that is because if you were doing it on a triangular prism, most of the time they'll have it sitting like this on the paper, where you just see the triangle on the end instead of it sitting on the triangle. Most of you think base is bottom. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be sitting on the base for it to be the base. Base is whatever shape you have that's not a rectangle, unless they're all rectangles. Okay, but then you do the one it's sitting on. But if it's a triangular prism like this, your base is the triangle ends. Okay, so if I want the height, most of you think height means going up and down. But if I want the height for my lateral area, it's the perimeter of the base, so it would be the perimeter around the triangle. I would add the sides of the triangle together. So it'll have them labeled on the picture for your test. It'll tell you like this is 8, this is 8, this is 12 or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making up numbers. I don't have the test right in front of me. But you add these sides together and that is your perimeter. And then you multiply it by the height, the distance between the two bases. So if I'm talking about the height of this triangular prism, it's this segment that's going across here, going across, connecting the two triangles together. Okay? Height does not mean it has to go up and down in the picture. You have to understand height is the distance between the bases. Okay? I want to make sure everybody knew that because you need that for one of the problems on there. Okay? Then it talks more about surface area. The surface area is your lateral area. Surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. Okay? So this, what I have up here on the board, is for our prisms. Okay, it's for our prisms. It works for our cylinders. Okay, because both our prisms and our cylinder have 2 bases. This one's triangles, this one's circles, and it has 2 bases joined together by a rectangular surface. Okay, we have 2 bases joined together by a rectangular surface. So for lateral area, it's perimeter of the base times the height, the distance between the 2 bases. For your surface area, it's the lateral area times 2 of the area of the base, because I got to add the area of both triangles on, or on the cylinder, I got to add the area of both circles on each end. Okay? But that is what it talked about in section 9.2, specifically for prisms and cylinders. Okay? Then I want to skip on your notes to section 9.4. Section 9.4 started talking about volume, but it was volume of prisms and cylinders. Remember, we did them all together. We did surface, lateral area, surface area, and volume all on one worksheet together. So we did them all at once. Okay? So we did section 9.2 and 9.4 together, and then we did section 9.3 and 9.5 together. On 9.4 on your notes, it says a cubic unit is a cube whose edges measure 1 unit, a cubic centimeter, a cubic foot, or any other cubic unit. Volume of a solid is measured in cubic units that would be needed to fill its interior completely. So area is measured in what kind of units?
Cubic.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, trick it. Area is measured in square units. Volume is measured in cubic units. Area is in square units. Volume is in cubic units. Okay. Area is in
square.
Volume is in
cubic.
Okay. So when we're finding the volume of a prism or a cylinder, you take the area of the base and you multiply it by the height. And again, when I'm talking about the height, I'm talking about the distance between the bases. Okay, so it could actually be going sideways in the picture because it could be a triangular prism like this. So the height's actually going across here. Okay, so remember, area is in square units and volume is in
Cubic.
cubic units. Okay, area is in square units, volume is in cubic units. Okay. Area square, volume's cubic. Okay, so that covers, let's see, we did, this was for question number 1. This was for number 2. This stuff that I did here, this stuff that's right here is for like number 3, 4, 5. And then number 6 is just naming the shapes based on the base. Okay, but this right here is like for number 3, number 4, number 5 on the test. Okay, now remember it depends on the shape of the base. So if it is a rectangular prism like this one, its base is a rectangle. So how do you find the area of a rectangle? That's good. Area is the length times the width if it's a rectangle. And then remember for lateral area, we needed perimeter. So to find the perimeter of a rectangle, it's 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So those are the formulas you need if it's a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism. And number 3. Okay? Now, number 4 on your test looks like this one. So what shape is this?
Pyramid.
No.
Triangle.
Triangle.
Prism. Thank you.
Prism.
Prism. We're talking about prisms right now. We haven't even got to pyramid yet. Okay. So it's a triangle. So if it's a triangle, to find the perimeter of the triangle, well, let's see the area. Find the area, it's 1/2 base times height. The base and height are always what to each other? Base is always perpendicular to the height, so that's how you can tell where they are in the picture. And for the perimeter, you just add the sides together. I'll just call them A, B, and C because I don't know what the sides are. You just add the 3 sides together. So it's lateral area. For perimeter of the base, you'll add the sides together and then multiply by the height, the distance between the 2 triangles. Then you'll take that answer plus 2, the area of the base. We'll use that formula for the area of the triangle base. And then for volume, you'll take the area of the base times the height, the distance between the 2 triangles. Okay, so if this one's this kind, then this one goes with number 4. Okay, so what we've covered so far gets you through numbers 1 through 5. Okay, the key thing is when you are doing this test, you need to make sure you put your units on your answers. Okay, you need to make sure that if you're sending me the picture of it, then show me the work too, because some of you, if I can see that you at least started off with plugging most of the numbers in right, but you may have just typed it wrong on the calculator, at least I can give you partial credit. If you just show me the answers, then I can't give you any extra partial credit. Okay? So that gets everybody basically, well, actually it covers 1 through 6. Okay? So we've covered the front page of the test that I sent you, 1 through 6. Okay? Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay, because you had your prisms, And then what I'm getting ready to do is also going to cover number 7. So we're getting you through at least half of the test today, okay? So on number 7, it's talking about shape. What was this shape called?
Cylinder.
A cylinder.
Cylinder.
Number 7, you have a cylinder. So to do the formulas for a cylinder is the same way as the prisms, okay? You have the perimeter of the base times the height. For the lateral area, you have the lateral area plus the 2 areas of the bases, area, and then your volume is the area of the base times the height. It's just the thing on here is with the cylinder, the bases are what shape?
Circle.
A circle. So when you're talking about, I just dropped my finger. When you're talking about a circle, okay, we don't have perimeter of a circle, we have circumference. So the circumference, remember, is just perimeter of a circle. So the circumference is 2 times pi times the radius. Okay, so that's the distance around the base. That's your perimeter. Just like on the triangle one, I said to find the distance around the base, you add the 3 sides of the triangle together. Same concept. Your area for a circle is pi times the radius squared. Okay, so this is what you're using for number 7. But like I said, it's still these same formulas we have here. This is for all prisms and cylinders. Okay, you also have your formulas on your worksheets that we did in class. But this is for all prisms and cylinders. The thing is, when I'm doing the cylinder, to find my perimeter of my base, I'm going to use this formula. So basically for a cylinder, okay, for cylinder, it would be lateral area is equal to 2 pi r times the height. Because it's the area, it's the perimeter of the base, which is its circumference, times the height of the cylinder. Okay, so for a cylinder, for the lateral area, we said was 2 pi r h, so we have that answer. And then we're adding it to 2 times the area of the base, but the area of the base is pi times the radius squared. So it's still doing the same thing. Okay, it's still doing the same thing as we did on prisms, it's just the bases are circles. So for my volume, for a cylinder, you're gonna have the area of the base, which is pi r squared times the height of the cylinder. So you have these formulas on your worksheets, okay? So you should be able to get these, okay? The thing is, when we are doing the cylinders or the cones or the spheres, all 3 of those have circles in them. When we used pi, did we use anything for pi, or did we leave pi in our answer?
We left
Left it in our answer.
You leave pi in the answer. So make sure that you don't forget and leave it off, okay? Now leave the pi on there. Make sure you don't leave it off, okay? So with what I've got up here on the board, and what you should be able to do 1 through 7 on the test.
1 through 7.
1 through 7. On the test, I think I told you I thought it went to 13. Yes, it goes to 13. But with what we've already talked about, you should be able to do 1 through 7. So that's from sections 1, section 9.1, 9.2, 9.4. Okay? Dealing with our prisms and our cylinders, and then our basic, just Euler's formula and the nets. Okay? So you should be able to do 1 through 7 on the test. Okay? Now, what I highly suggest you do is you go ahead and work on the 1 through 7 and send me your answers for those today. If I get your answers for the 1 through 7 today and I check them and I say, ooh, what are they doing? Because you just were like, ooh, way off somewhere. I'll send it back and tell you, hey, you need to look at number 3. I don't know what you did, but look back at number 3. So then you'll have a chance to fix it before your final test grade. Okay? If you don't send me any of the answers today, then I'm not going to have time to give you that second chance on there. Because tomorrow I'm going to just be focused on the last half, 8 through 13. So if you want to possibly have a second chance to fix anything on 1 through 7, you need to try to get those to me today. Now, some of you still have your other quiz that you haven't sent me. Some of them I've got. I got them over the weekend, but I still have not got to check them because yesterday, you know, on Mondays where we do Compassion Avenue and stuff, I'm not even, and then we have a staff meeting. So I get very little time to actually work on school stuff on Mondays. So I haven't got to check them if you had already sent it to me yet. But same thing, I'll look at those, and if I see something I'm like, woo, what are they putting? Then I'll give it back and say, hey, you need to look at number 5 and number 6 or whatever. Okay? But what do I expect you to do on your test today?
1
1 through 7.
through 7.
Okay? 1 through 7. And the only person that we were missing that normally logs in is Monica. So if somebody wants to let her know, hopefully she got her email through My School Works. But was she in last period?
I don't think so.
No.
No, she wasn't there either. All right. And who were y'all singing to last period?
Javier.
Javier. It's Javier's birthday. So are you eating tacos? Cinco de Mayo. It's Taco Tuesday, and it's Cinco de Mayo, and it's your birthday? Or just cake?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. Well, happy birthday, Javier. I'm not singing to you because y'all already did that.
Let's sing it again, Miss Pajo. Let's sing it all together again.
No, that's fine. Y'all can go ahead and do that. But, all right. Happy birthday, Javier.
Okay, thank you.
So everybody, I'm going to let you go early so you can start working on your what?
Test.
Test.
My work.
Oh, does this mean it's time to go eat?
Yes.
No, you logged in late, so no. You go do your test.
Miss, I was having trouble.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's okay. All right, so y'all be good. Work on your test. Try to get those sent to me so I can try to send them back. And then tomorrow we'll review over what you need for the last half. Okay?
Okay.
Sí, jefa. Nos vemos.
Have a good birthday, Javier.
Gracias.